Call SEB case number 2022-054, Gwinnett County ballot harvesting. We have an investigator. We have our investigators. Great. Morning. I'm Investigator DeWeese with the Secretary of State's office. The first case is 2022-054, ballot harvesting involving a white Ford SUV. Complainant sent in video clips of the white SUV approaching the ballot box at the government building in Gwinnett County. A male subject exits and places 5 ballots inside the ballot box. The video had the vehicle tag. I was able to find the registered owner and identify him and interview him. But prior to my interview, I researched his home and located 5 legal electors that lived inside the home, and they were all family members. I checked all their ballots in our ENET system, and they all coincided as being dropped in the drop box on the same day as the mail placed them in the video. And they were all counted either that day or the very next day. So I then interviewed him and validated that he had more than 5 people living in his home, but the 5 electors all lived in that residence at that time, making all those ballots legal ballots. Thank you for that report. Any questions from the board? Dr. Johnston?
Thank you for the report. Did you get information as to the relationship of each of those 5 people?
They were his children and his wife.
And did you interview them?
No. But I did check their election status, that the ballots all matched. So everybody that was a registered voter at that house, the interview, he admitted to being there. He said, that's me on the video. That's me pasting 5 ballots, but he goes, those are all my family members' ballots. So that information prior to me talking to him, I found all the electors that were registered at that home and checked all their ballots, and they were all dropped on the same day, which matched up with the video and counted.
Thank you.
Other questions from members of the board?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I think for the listening audience, it's important to point out, and I'll have the investigator confirm, that you are authorized to deliver ballots for other family members located in your home. That is something that is clearly permissible by law, correct?
That is correct.
Let me also ask you this, and I appreciate folks coming forward with concerns and specific allegations for us to investigate. But I've also seen some of these, some people also going out and publishing these allegations and posting videos online or through other sources of people without a full investigation. Do you know whether or not this individual was one of those people that was whose car and car tag and picture was published publicly?
As far as the white SUV, I have not seen the movie True to Vote, but I did see a True to Vote representative on a Tucker Carlson show, and in the background they had that video clip playing of that subject in the white SUV.
I would simply like to caution folks who are bringing forth these allegations to please allow an investigation to take place before you publish these allegations. You know, voter harvesting is a crime. Claiming that someone is committing a crime without full investigation carries with it some legal liability as well. And I would like for folks who are simply exercising their right to vote and exercising the right of their family to vote, not to have allegations thrown about them, and to simply ask folks to be a little more cautious in this day and age to make sure that before you make those kind of allegations, that you turn over the claim to proper authorities and allow an investigation to take place before you publish it, and perhaps bring into question someone's good name. Just a cautionary, I think this is a cautionary tale here that I would like folks to observe in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. I do have one. It's kind of a question, but it's for the benefit of the people out there, and you can defer to your colleague if you'd like to answer this question. But when you go and interview people, A friend of mine was put up for U.S. attorney, and so she listed me as a reference, and the FBI came and talked to me about her as a reference, and they came with badges and guns. I was scared to death, and it was just a job reference. So how do y'all approach? Do you communicate with them the seriousness of it? Do you communicate with them that it's a crime to tell you things that aren't true, or how does that process work? I think people listening would like to know. At what level are we just taking somebody's word for it, or at what level is the weight or the magnitude of the system made apparent?
Well, in my experience as an investigator, every case is different in how you would approach, in this case, respondent. And in this case, I got a lot of information prior. I found 5 legal votes from that address, and then matched up with the video. So that gave me a little, well, what's the word I'm looking for? It made me satisfied that it looked like they were going to be legal votes. So I contacted him by phone and email and set up a meeting to get his statement. And as far as the family living there, yeah, you could tell there were several people living there with the amount of cars in the driveway.
So not to put words in your mouth, but to characterize what I heard, and that is like us lawyers, we always say, don't ask a question in court that you don't already know the answer to. You go into these interviews already knowing the answers to a lot of the questions you're going to ask, and that way you know whether they're telling you the truth or not.
Right. I researched the home and found that these people lived there, and did as much research as I could based on the information I had with his name and all that.
Thank you for that explanation. Do you have a recommendation for the board?
I did not find anything to suggest a violation of Georgia code.
I think your recommendation is for no action. I'm prepared to accept a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Ed and Sarah have both moved and seconded it with each other again. Dr. Johnston, discussion? I told you we had the brightest lawyers in the state helping us out. There is no legal consequence to the statement no action, so it's actually a motion for dismissal. So I stand corrected. Thank you, Ryan. And the board will restate the motion as one for dismissal.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
So we are ready for discussion. Dr. Johnston, anything?
No discussion.
No discussion. We're ready to vote. All those in favor of the dismissal will say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed will say nay. So the motion carries and this case is dismissed.